Hello everyone, welcome to A Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. I've been thinking of making this video for a couple of days, but I thought I would wait for all the noise of the crashing and banging from the train wreck to subside a little bit. Jeff's made videos about it. VPP's made videos about it. Kong King's made videos about it. A lot of other people have made videos about it. It just boils down to Jeff believing his own BS. The insinuation, I think what led to all this charity talk about helping Marley was the insinuation by Jeff, the outright lies by Jeff that he just made up about Marley's situation, and that I guess I had somehow abandoned her and wasn't taking care of my responsibilities. He did a couple videos on it, all with the intent of making me out to be a deadbeat parent and fit his narrative of me being a scumbag. All just made up because he had none of the information, no real information. The only information that Jeff ever had was from his imagination. He had said that Marley and Blake were basically living in a grass hut with no electricity, no bathroom, in poverty-stricken conditions, and that I wasn't sending any support. He outright said that I wasn't sending Marley any support whatsoever. And I think it's just a case of he had lied so much, he had made up so much and lied so much that on his live stream, when the subject came up, it wasn't something that he could back away from. And you know, even though he had made it all up and it was all lies, he probably, as Jeff often does, he repeats those lies in his head. They're just like on a loop, and so he probably ended up believing them at some point. And so he devised this plan to involve Village People Philippines in helping Marley with donations that Jeff's subscribers wanted to send to her, because Jeff's subscribers and followers, being the dimwits that they are, believe everything that Jeff tells them. So VP, I don't know, I can't remember her name, Joan or something, I can't remember, but anyway, when she became involved, and you know, who knows whether or not her charity is licensed, unlicensed, I don't know, I mean, there's conflicting reports. Who knows, who cares? As I understand it, her goal is to help the poorest of the poor in the Philippines, and you don't have to look far. You can stand on any street corner in any city in the Philippines and throw a rock, and within that circle there's definitely people who are in need of assistance. So if she in fact has a bona fide charity and is helping people, good on her, and I wish her all the luck. That she got tangled up with Jeff and his lunacy and his Looney Tune crowd, you know, maybe she should have done a little more research beforehand. Um, it indeed turned into a train wreck. I think, you know, VPP, I don't know if I remember her name from an email or something somebody told me. Her name's not coming up. I don't even think anyone's ever seen her face. How anybody thinks they can operate a viable charity without anybody knowing who they are or seeing their face or knowing their name, I don't know. It boggles my mind, but if she can pull it off, more power to her. But anyway, she had left a comment on one of Jeff's videos, stating the poverty threshold for a family of 5 in the Philippines, and that was 10,705 pesos a month, and anything below that, the family would be considered impoverished, and anything above that, I guess not. Remember that number, 10,705 pesos. I think that she figured out pretty quick that Marley was nowhere near being able to meet that poverty threshold. Her father has a machine shop, which I would assume, and saying all this, everyone has to realize that in the midst of COVID here in the Philippines, it's tough all over. I mean, it's nothing like it was even 2 years ago. And the number that I referenced, the poverty threshold, was from 2018. So, and that's probably the last year that the Philippine government came up with statistics. Even figuring in inflation, that poverty threshold would probably still be, you know, around the 11,500 peso a month mark. Marley's father has a machine shop, probably not doing anywhere near the business that he was before, but as I understand it, it was fairly profitable. Marley's grandmother owns 2 or 3 hectares of rice fields somewhere in that area, and her uncles take turns doing the harvest, 2 of which I funded for, I don't know, 30,000 pesos or so. And the second time I told her, look, you know what, if whoever's doing the harvest can't save back enough to do it again for the next time, don't come looking at me. Farming is a business. You got to manage it, and having enough to replant the next crop is part of what goes into a business. Marley also had a small, you know, eatery, I guess you could say. She made the fish balls, and you know, pretty common to see around. I also gave her the money for that, to start that up. I don't remember how much that was. I don't know, 20,000 pesos, I don't remember. And that has since closed, and I think, of course, due to COVID, the restrictions are where she is are pretty strict. I don't think there at the present time you can even go from one barangay to another without a permit. So people aren't working like they were. they don't have the money to spend like they did. And while the little fishball eatery place wouldn't be considered an extravagant meal, it's nonetheless eating out. And I think those that did have something to do were taking a little bag of rice and a dried fish with them for their lunch, rather than stopping somewhere and spending 20 or 30, 40 pesos on a little meal. So that little business is now, as far as I know, defunct. Her mother also had a sari-sari store, and which had, and this was a couple of years ago, it had closed because Marley had said her mother had an operation and they had spent all the operating capital out of that sari-sari store on the surgery. So I paid to refund it, to restock it. Again, a couple of years ago, I can't remember how much that was, 20,000, 25,000 pesos. I can't remember off the top of my head. So for the last couple years, there was a lot of money coming into Marley's household through the various businesses that were being operated out of there. And she by no means was living in poverty. The house she lives in, she lives with her family, her mother and father, and 3 or 4 siblings, one of which is a teacher, and I think one younger sister, I can't remember. So there was income coming into that household, and on top of all of that was the money that I was sending her. And this is just an example of the receipts from the money that I've sent Marley. In the last 3 years, the receipts that I can lay my hands on, and you know, they never put them in a folder. They were hanging in this bag here that many of you remember were hanging right next to that red one. It's easy for me just to pull something out of my pocket and stick it in that bag rather than digging out a file folder and putting it in there. So I've kept all the receipts of the money that I sent Marley. And in the last 3 years, the grand total of all that money was 414,425 pesos. That's just the money that I've sent her. Divide that by 36 months, and that comes out to 11,511 pesos per month, which is above the poverty threshold for a family of 5. And that's what I have sent in support of Blake. 5 times what would be considered poverty level. 5 times the amount of money of what would be considered poverty level in the Philippines. You know what? This is 2021. If Marley wants a better lifestyle than what she has, she can continue to work and provide, and she has. The rumors going around that Marley's lazy, that, you know, the thing going with VPP, that she didn't want the sewing machine because she was lazy, kind of a roundabout way, calling Marley lazy because she didn't want to be a seamstress. You know, just picking something out of the thin air. Okay, we'll help you this way. You're going to be a seamstress. Well, it's not communist China where they pick your trade at 5 years old and that's what you're going to do. I don't think Marley wants to be a seamstress. She's in her late 20s. She doesn't know anything about it. Why would she want to do it? And again, what she wanted to do is what she did. She had the little eatery, they had the little Sorry Sorry store, both profitable until COVID. You know, COVID's been hell for most of the planet for almost 2 years now. So, yeah, Marley's not lazy. And I think that Marley thought, because they only sent her 5,000 pesos last month, that the spigot was going to start being turned down on a permanent basis. Now, I've told her that wasn't the case. It may at some point end up being the case, because Jeff's campaign to drive my income down is being successful enough to where there isn't a ton of money around. I can just about guarantee that in the next 36 months I won't be sending 414,000 pesos Marley's way, because it just ain't here anymore. Having said all that, look, times are tough, and I don't think Marley's trying to hustle anyone. Times are tough. I would suggest to anyone, and it won't hurt my feelings a bit, you know, Jeff did all this out of spite to try to embarrass me, that I wasn't taking care of my son Blake. Nothing is further from the truth, and so I wasn't embarrassed. But I will say that anyone who is wishing to help Marley, look, Marley has her own YouTube channel now. She had wanted for a long time to kind of be on the down low, and I don't know what's happened in the last 2 or 3 days. If she wants to continue to be on the down low, I do know that she took her channel down for a little while. I think the name of her channel is our Simple Province Life or something. I don't know. You could find it probably in Jeff's comments. Go to her channel. Get her information. If you want to send her some money, knock yourself out. I don't see the need for anyone to go through a registered charity if they want to help someone. I just think it's unnecessary. The pearl clutchers that are out there, because of all the hype that has been going on, that all got started with Terrence and Beth, they see a scammer under every rock when it's just not so. And you know, I think in particular the stuff that's happened to Dustin Backpacks lately is a shining example of the hysteria that is just running rampant within the Philippines vlogging community, with all the hate channels going up. It's pretty sad. I don't know of anyone. I don't know of any. I don't know of a single vlogger, and keep in mind I don't get out much, but I don't know of a single vlogger in the Philippines who has asked for help in helping others. I don't know of a single one where it has been proven that they were running some kind of a scam. I don't see any arrests or convictions or prosecutions. Don't see it. You know, even people attacking Bud Brown, who to me is like the salt of the earth, even people attacking him and threatening him because his thing was, if he saw a little boy or girl with, and their chinelas, their thongs were in poor shape, he'd get them a pair. 100 peso or 50 peso pair of sandals. And it's just the lunacy of these people it just it boggles the mind of a sane person, and I consider myself a sane person. You know, anybody who's wanting to help Marley, go to her channel, contact her privately, and help her. Won't hurt my feelings a bit, because bottom line, what helps her helps Blake. And if Marley wants to spend it all on the lottery, that's up to Marley. You know, she lives in a nice house. Blake is well fed and well cared for. He's in a nurturing environment. It's just cash is tight, like it always is here in the Philippines, for 99% of the people that live here. And one last little thing, and you know, another one of Jeff's things about wanting to help out with Blake's U.S. citizenship. Again, he's been blowing smoke up his own ass for so long. He just doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Trying to rally people around paying to help Marley get Blake's U.S. citizenship, which Marley has refused. Guess what, dimwit? You can't do it. You could throw millions of pesos at it, and you couldn't make it happen. That's my responsibility, and it's not going to happen until all these quarantines and lockdowns are over with, and I can freely travel without the risk of being stuck somewhere. The thing is that, you know, like in Marley's case, she could go to Cebu tomorrow, no problems, but she can't get back home. That was the whole sticking point with Marley. And there's an outbreak in Cebu. There's a lot of COVID cases in Cebu. So she's gonna basically go on a one-way trip and be stuck in a hot spot of COVID for what? I don't know, whatever was discussed on what she would get. A sewing machine, an offer of a sewing machine is laughable. Well, it's not laughable. For someone who is truly destitute in the Philippines, a sewing machine could be a way up and a way out. But in Marley's case, she is far and above that threshold already. Over 11,500 pesos a month on average from me for the last 3 years. She couldn't have met the criteria that VPP has, and she couldn't go and get whatever was offered in return with it. So again, Jeff, another train wreck, more drama caused all by you, from making up stuff, putting out innuendo and outright lies, and now you want Gary from Kong King in the Philippines to fix the crap that you started. You're some kind of a piece of work. Go open up another box of wine, Jeff. Relax, have a nice evening, and don't stress about things that are above your pay grade and your intelligence level. Just get drunk and stumble around until you fall into bed, and that's the best thing I can suggest for you to do. Don't try to run with the big dogs. You're just not capable of it. I'll leave it at that. I hope that I've shown a little bit of light on the subject, thrown some real hard facts and numbers at it to, you know, clear up the air a little bit. And we'll catch you guys next time. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.